Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 13 of the Forsaken Council Open Mic. And today we are going to talk about some battle pirates. How is everyone doing today?
All good here.
Yeah,
pretty good.
All good.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And thanks for everyone for joining us tonight. If anyone does still want to come into the show tonight and have a discussion, I mean, we do have a couple of spaces left, so. We've got room for 3 more if anyone's interested. The link's in the chat there, and it's also in the TFC page. So how is everyone enjoying these assault targets? Anyone hit them?
Yeah, I've got my rhinos up to R4, and I've got my Cody's done, which is what I wanted to get done, mate. So very nice. Yeah, I've got my Apollos finished now, so I was out having a look. I hit some 85s, and they were basically a free repair. So I thought it was quite easy, quite straightforward. But for me, really, I didn't really want to. I don't really care about my rhinos because I use Zoe's rhinos, and I don't really use my Kodiaks anymore. So I was I don't feel like I'm obligated to hit them. No. It's not really going to change my game.
It's a take it or leave it thing, right? I mean, I've hit a few. I think I've got my Rhino to R1, and that's it. I mean, I can hit them really, really cheap. They don't cost me a bunch to hit. They're easy. But to be honest with you, it's just not a priority for me. So I'll leave it for now.
Yeah, I mean, I actually did get the MCX done, but not. I didn't really aim to get it done. I was just outranking Apollos, hitting cargoes, and it managed to get them done doing that. So that was quite cool. So we are going to be talking tonight about Fragments and Foundry, and I don't know if anyone had an opportunity to check out a question that I put on the page yesterday, and it was basically I was trying to feel out the community a little bit and just see how people kind of felt about the introduction of this feature. I mean, we've seen the feature now for quite a while in the game. It's been in there for over a month, sorry about that. So it's been in for over a month, and really, I guess I wanted to know if people actually understood it or not. Now I know what some of us are going to say, like it's very basic, it's very easy to understand, but I don't know. Maybe it's not for everyone, and I think Kickstarter tried very hard to make the Foundry really clear for players to understand. Like I feel that Kickstarter have almost gone out of their way to make it as understandable as possible, but I'm not sure. I mean, for me, I feel like I fully understand it. I feel like I look at the Foundry, I know if I want to get this target done, I know that I've got to hit this, and if I want to hit this, I know I've got to hit this. I find that very straightforward. But I can't speak for everyone. I can only speak for myself. So how do you guys feel about that?
Well, yeah, I find it the same as you, but I don't know if everyone knows about the sector bar, the way that's linked to it as well. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you want to explain that, mate.
Well, feel free. Feel free, Monster.
No, I said you.
Well, the sector bar, you mean with the sort of increased...
the multiplier.
The multiplier. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But is that a permanent thing, or is that just for this weekend?
That's always happened.
It's a permanent thing?
Yeah.
It's definitely a permanent thing on the 91s.
Okay. Okay, yeah, so with the sector fret bar, as you build the bar up, it gives you it's like a fragment multiplier. Is it not?
Yes.
So it gives you like increased amounts of fragment drops.
The highest I've seen it get to is ×2 though, so I don't see where the progression is really, because ×1 is just the same as getting what you're getting. Right, it's the ×2 is the only increase, and it doesn't go up from there. I mean, I'm in 261, and we've had the bar full orange, and it's ×2. That's so. I don't know. It's kind of. I thought it was supposed to be some sort of incremental increase depending on what stage of the bar you were at. Teal, yellow, or orange. But it seems like it only goes to 2, and then it just stops.
Well, see, for me, this is kind of like a conversation that I'm not as clued up in as maybe a lot of you are, and really the reason for that is I don't really, as of yet, the Foundry's not really had anything in for me, and therefore I haven't really got too involved in it. I have seen the only ship that's in there that I use is Centurions, and we're not allowed to do anything with them. So at the moment, the Foundry is completely. It's not an issue to me. It's not something I need to do, or I've even chosen to do. I don't have any ships done in the Foundry, and I don't intend to until they put some ships in there that I need to do. So.
For me personally, I built a couple of Apollos today, so I thought I'd take them out for a spin, and I just randomly went around and picking off one from each tier and each target sort of stuff from each of the the 3 different options, and I think the biggest issue is that I don't think the drop rate's probably quite enough, because there was people running around all over the sectors trying to find them, and several times it kept coming up saying no target available. And I know you can move to another sector, but it doesn't make it quite as easy, does it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But in general, the targets were fine. The multiplier times 6, I seem to get that virtually every time, which is quite fortunate. But our bar nearly always stays in orange anyway, most of the time in our sector, so it's not too bad.
Just to clarify, you don't mean a times 6 multiplier. You mean you were getting 6 frags.
Sorry, yeah, I was getting 6 frags, mate. Yeah, and on the 91, I was getting 3. I think it's when I did one of those.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So, yeah, it wasn't too bad. I only did about an hour. I just thought I'd have a quick go before we come on tonight. That was all.
Yeah. What I was finding before we had this times 2 thing, which is in game now, right? If the sector bar was teal, I was getting 2 frags from each one. But if but when the sector bar went to yellow, I was getting 4 instead of 2, like. And that was before we had this times 2 stuff. So what I was trying to say was, as long as you keep the bar in orange, in yellow, you'll get 4 instead of 2, like.
Mm-hmm. So guys, I mean, from the sounds of it, you guys know exactly what to do. You know exactly if you want to go and hit some garrison targets, you know that you've got to go out and do some of the Forsaken mission targets. Correct? You guys know what you know exactly what you need to hit to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And have you ever found that point confusing? That's what I want to ask.
No, not at all, mate. I mean, it's the simplest thing in the world. If you've got a particular hull that you want to get fragments for, you go to the Foundry, you click on that hull, you click on Find Target, and from that point on, you know what level target you need to hit to get fragments. Or you can just do that. Me personally, I do it every single time. That's how I find my targets. I go into the Foundry and I click Find Target, and it takes me to other sectors to find targets if there's none in my sector. Do you know what I mean? It's the simplest thing in the world, man. I don't understand how anyone can be confused about it.
If you click for, say, the Rhino, it'll take you to a 75. But you actually get Rhino parts out of an 85 as well.
Yeah, but I just kind of work that out on my own, mate.
Yeah, which is what I did as well. But it doesn't take you to an 85. It'll always take you to a 75, like.
Yeah, there is that. I mean, and also, to be honest with you, the 85s are easier than the 75s because there's only one scatter turret in there as opposed to 2 in the 75s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's I think that the reason I think Kickstarter were quite interested in finding out if the community felt if they found the feature confusing or not, and I think the reason for that is because they've tried very hard to make it crystal clear and not confusing, and I don't think they like the idea of maybe people finding it quite confusing, which is exactly why I asked that question, guys, because I guess I just wanted to know where everyone was on it. And
I don't know if people were embarrassed or whatever it was, but from the looks of what the poll that was up on our page, and also I ran a poll in the sector I was in as well, I asked 2 questions. Not only do you understand what to do, but also do you understand how many to hit for each to go up each tier? And it's the same as our page, to be honest. About 2/3 of the people said, yeah, I'm content with it, I know what to do, but I'm not doing it. I've got enough chores, thank you very much. But 1/3 said, I absolutely have no idea how to do it, I'm staying away from it. Which is quite a percentage of the population, isn't it?
Yeah, but going up a tier as well, there's no room for mistake with going up a tier, because when you get enough frags to advance, a little icon appears in the Foundry button. And when you click on the Foundry, you can't then click on the hull and find another target, because when you click on the hull, it tells you to redeem it.
Yep.
Right, so it's almost all on autopilot, mate. You hit targets until you can't find targets because you've got enough frags, then you redeem it, and then you resume hitting targets.
So long as you notice that and understand that you've actually got to click on the target, click on the hole, redeem it, and then you can carry on. Because
see, I don't have that problem because whenever I'm looking for a target, I always go through the Foundry. Rather than trying to search around the map, I go to the Foundry and click on Find Target.
Yeah, I do that.
So if I'm full on frags, I won't be able to click Find Target. I'll have to redeem first, right?
Yeah, you'll have to click Claim first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There have been quite a few times when I've used the Foundry where I've tried to search for a specific target, and it hasn't even tried to take me to other sections. It just said, no targets found. In some of the first days of the Foundry, I know that I had to wait for other people to figure out and post pictures on the TFC page of what you needed to hit for where, because I guess I just wasn't seeing the proper level of mines because they're on a spawn timer cycle. I think that might be confusing for people that are new to using the Foundry, and I think there's a bit of a better solution. I think that they could Kixeye could put like next to the graphical icon of the fragment, like find this fragment in level 75 elite salvages, or find this fragment in whatever, and maybe still have the find target button. Just tell you where to go inwards or with a picture, because it's not always intuitive. Like you could click on Foundry and then you see, oh, find the components on the map, and you click go to map, and then maybe you'll think of considering clicking find target. But it's not as easy as people think it would be, and also you'd have to get to the forum to, I guess, really know how to use it, like the forum of one of our pages, and not everybody does that. The sampling of people on this page, the people on our page are usually more experienced in games, so they may know what to do, but a lot of people might not know what to do. So I think that being a little more clear, either in words or in pictures by the fragments, would do better for everyone, not just the people watching this page or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the only way I can think that perhaps people are not having a great time with finding the right targets for the right things is the fact that we have had a lot of content in a very short space of time. You know, we've been hit with the Foundry and this and that and this, and every week has been a big update for the last 6 weeks, I think. You know, so I can kind of understand where people were almost a little bit flustered. If they haven't kept up on the going-ons of each week, then they are going to be a little bit confused about what's going on. They are going to maybe be a little bit taken back by the information. So I do get that, but I feel that there's enough information out there. Like I feel like if you're not going to go into the forums and look or check a page, then you really kind of only got yourself to blame a little bit on that. I don't know if I'm wrong in saying that, but
it's interesting, and Ren was on about it today on our admin page, and even in Kixie understand that actually there's only a certain percentage of individuals that look either on the forums or any of the Facebook pages, or even click around, take their time to click around their game. Mm-hmm. You know, they try to make things as obvious as possible, because the percentage that actually do stop and take the time are generally actually those younger players that are really, really keen and want to get it perfect, or the older players have got plenty of time, you know, and don't need to rush, or the coiner that doesn't want to coin stupidly on things that he shouldn't be coining on, and actually wants to use his coin as ergonomic as possible, so he streamlines what he needs to do. But then there's a whole other percentage, and actually it's greater than 50%. In fact, it's greater than 70% that don't look at anything. So we're preaching to 30%.
I'm not being funny or nothing, but if you're going to play a game and you're not going to bother to look anywhere for any information on how to play the game, and you're not going to bother to ask people who might know about the game, then really you've only got yourself to blame. I'm not being funny or nothing, but I mean that to me that's just being blissful and complacent in your ignorance, and that's not a good thing. You know, if you want to learn how to play something, you try and find out information. If you were going to play poker, you wouldn't just walk into a casino to play poker without first learning how to play poker. Right?
I totally agree with you, mate. I totally agree. But there is the percentage of people, and it's clearly more than 50%, that just skim through one game, the next game, the next game, and they'll stick with it for 2 or 3 weeks and that stuff. And if it doesn't make sense straight away without having to read the instructions, classic bloke thing, I'm no better than anybody else but that, they just move on.
Well,
do you know the way to do
a strategy game really isn't for you, because if you don't like reading instructions and spending time doing stuff, then strategy is not a game for you. I'm sorry.
No, I understand, but it is sold as a battle game.
There is ways to force people to learn, and there is an example of that would be a mission that forces you to actually go out and hit something and collect a part and change it, just like they did in the beginning of the game. I don't know if you remember.
Add it into campaigns. That could work.
Yeah. So, excuse me, guys. They could create some kind of mission that you have to do that encourages and incorporates you to learn that item, but that would mean adding in something and creating something to explain something that some may seem as quite basic. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but maybe they could do stuff like that. Maybe they could make some kind of mission system where, well, actually we do have it in R&D. Why not add in some R&D levels that may say, right, go out and collect some assault fragments, or to go up this level in R&D, you have to take the MCX to level 2, and at least that way it kind of forces people to at some point have to learn how to use the Foundry.
Why not a time limited campaign, and once you've finished the campaign and unlocked it, that allows you to carry on and go into the Foundry?
But why do they need to
I prefer the R&D one, I think.
Why do they need that for? Because it works now.
Yeah, I mean, it is basically spending a lot of time and resources to make something to further explain something which, in some sense, is already explained quite well.
If they're really concerned that people don't know, then just make a video and link it to the top of the bloody game page, and then folks can click on that and see it.
Yeah, they don't even have to go to the forums. You can just put a link at the top when you load into Battle Pirates, and you can just click on the link to go and watch the video that explains it. And that wouldn't take them very long to do at all.
Or they should in-game live broadcast our show instead of instead of that backing track. Maybe like a box will come up in the top right, and it'll be me. How much would you all enjoy your game if that was the case?
Just like Liam explains the Foundry.
I mean, no, there'd just be a pop-up and go, "Hi guys, that's a salvage."
Please buy some Liam goo. Yeah, okay.
Hi guys.
So, Cameron, how do you find it, mate?
So the whole Foundry thing, to me, I don't do a whole lot of it just because I've got 2 fleets I'm still trying to get rebuilt, so those are my 2 main hitting fleets. I do think it's pretty simple. I don't understand why there's a lot of confusion about it. I don't like how they started. They first started off with that little info tab that'll tell you, this mine holds these fragments or whatever. We don't see that on the FM targets or the Legion targets. And that's the only thing I don't really like. I keep having to go back to that post that Rooster made that had all the, that grid. It's been posted on the TFC page a couple times where everything is. That's helped out a lot. That's been the only thing that's been confusing me, is remembering what target held what. Because I don't care about MCX fragments or strike cruiser fragments or anything like that. I was looking for
Rhino though.
And Rhino. I didn't know they came in the 85s either until I saw that post.
Yeah, I don't think it's designed poorly by any means. Like, I was able to figure it out. I feel like it could be designed simpler, yes, but not too terribly much. Also, I made a quick point. There are a lot of other video games, both in the console and mobile market, that are free to play that have in-game tutorials and such, and they give a sufficient amount of information to play the game without ever having to check the forums. With a game like this, I don't think that's really feasible, because we have a lot of statistics and descriptive attributes and such that might not be easy for this game, but there are certainly games that do it.
Well, listen, we actually, to try and make to try and be helpful to you guys and make that little bit more crystal clear, our wonderful Andrew, who does a lot of the work on the website, he has actually gone to the effort of making up some slides for us tonight. Well, he made some pictures, and I think TSM's sort of built them into slides. Correct, TSM?
Yeah. I just basically put Andrew's slides, pictures he did, which were excellent, that sort of stuff, and then basically stuck them onto a quick PowerPoint.
Yeah. So here's some pictures that kind of give. For anyone that is kind of a bit unsure, and we're not calling anyone an idiot or anything like that at all. For anyone that is a bit unsure, we've got some slides made up which we are going to post into the page after. So yeah, it's basically just a brief explanation of the Foundry. Well, it's not even an explanation. It's just pictures showing what you need to hit and stuff. So battle parts, the Foundry. Yeah, if we can shuffle along one there, Gadget. Target Clinic. There we are. So that's what it's going to be titled, Target Clinic. And it is an amazing amount of slides, all 3 of them. So yeah, so this is obviously the Assault. Now, for anyone that's looking to upgrade their Rhino, Kodiak V2H Missile Cruiser X, that's what you need to hit. Very straightforward, guys. And the 75, I actually accidentally took my MCX to R14 just by ranking up my Apollos in cargoes earlier. Not even realising I was doing it.
And just for anyone who can't read that, the Rhino, you need 75 Legion Assault Force, 85 Legion Assault Force. The Kodiak, you need 53 Legion Assault Force, 63 Legion Assault Force. The V2H, you need 32 Legion Assault Force or 42 Legion Assault Force, and the Missile Cruiser X, you need 75 Elite Salvages.
Yeah, it's summarised in the last slide as well, the whole lot.
But doesn't MCX, doesn't Rhinos at R4 then change to Tier 5 Fragments?
Yeah, which aren't out yet.
Which aren't out just yet.
And when you're doing your last run through of your Kodiaks, you then jump up to 75s.
Just to number 4s.
It's,
unfortunately.
Actually, with everything. When you hit the 4th one, for the 5th one, you need the higher tier to reach it.
Right. Okay. Hi, Emery. How's it going?
Cool. It's my first time here. I just installed the Google Plus.
We've got a couple of new people tonight. So welcome to everyone that joins us. We love to see new faces here. So welcome aboard, guys.
Thank you very much.
So this one's the Garrison.
The Garrison. Now, guys, has any of you done Berserkers and tried them out yet?
No.
I want to.
No.
I know. I've seen a few people rolling around with some pretty good DNX and Nova Storms, but still don't know if they're worth more than Citadels yet. I'm not sure, but Berserkers certainly could be. And that's basically just the weekly Forsaken Mission targets gadget, correct?
Yeah, so for Berserker you need 80 and 87.
Is that not 97?
No, that's 87.
Sorry, okay.
For the Nova Storm you need 60 and 67. For the Dreadnought X you need 37 and 45. And for the Strike Cruiser, you need level 50 salvages.
Okay.
I have none of them built.
But again, when you want to get up to the last run of it, they all jump up a tier.
Yep.
Right, so our 5 Berserkers will be from 97s eventually, when I imagine Tier 5 will be 97 FM targets, correct?
I would imagine so, yeah.
I'll be surprised if it isn't.
Yeah.
Now
Now we're onto the Siege.
Yeah, now we're on to the Siege. So, Tier 4 is still locked at the moment, correct?
Yep.
So, we can't get there.
We start with the Crusader, basically.
I got a funny feeling that when they unlock the center of the dubs, they're going to unlock Tier 4 on that.
Yeah, it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
So you basically, for the Crusader, you want 60s, and of course, once you get to the last level, you go up 1 to 70s. For the Vindicator, you want 30s and 40s, and for the Dreadnought, you want level 40 salvages.
Mm-hmm. So that's the Foundry, guys. I mean, that's the Foundry so far as we have it. Do we have any more slides on that? No.
There you go.
Here we go.
Actually, I got a question for you guys. Have you guys tried to get gantry parts during this event?
My gantry's already building.
Not now, no.
I have to say the gantry is going very well. In the sector I'm in, I can see about 40 players that have started their gantry, if not more.
I have actually tried to get some, but I thought with this times 2 that I'd get 4 to 6 parts, but I've only been getting 2, which is like crazy.
I saw it confirmed from one of the mods that it didn't affect the gantry part collection.
Well, I have not even got a single bloody one gantry part yet, so I'm gonna get working on that. But I'm in a sector that doesn't seem to get up to red ever in the moment, which is annoying.
Okay, so we got some notes here. Tier 5 for Rhino should be out on the 7th of June. Lucky Bastards will not increase the drop rate of Fragments.
Mm-hmm. Which sounds obvious, but some people were asking the questions, so I thought I'd put it in there.
I've never not gotten a fragment, so I don't know.
Okay, and those notes that David that we managed to get together there, we're going to post them up on the page. So for anyone that is having a bit of an issue with the fragments and trying to figure out which targets to hit for which hull, they'll be up there. And they'll be posted in a folder in files that you can always look at. Simple as that. And as the new sections of the Foundry come, we'll add them to the folder. So we'll have a specific photo album folder for the Foundry, so anyone can access that. And I'm sure Andrew's probably going to get them up on the website as well.
Yeah, I'll do that as a PDF document as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that is pretty much. Unless anyone else wants to talk about it further, does anyone else want? Is there any other issues around the Foundry that anyone wants to discuss?
I don't know, but how's Trent doing? I've not heard his voice yet.
Oh, there's Andrew there.
Hello, how's it going?
Hi, Andrew. We just went through the slides.
There it is.
You have done a better job than Kixeye at presenting this information. Well done.
Well,
no, this is Andrew from Kixeye. No, I'm just kidding.
I know what the player wants, so.
No, there were some great slides, and you're going to get them up on the website, Andrew, at some point.
Aye. So the tier 5 for the Rhino should be the Legion 95s.
Okay.
Makes sense. I kind of have a concern when, well, I guess it would be next week, when Tier 5 for Garrison becomes live. You thought 97s were hard to get before? Well, guess what? Yeah.
So tier 5 Garrison is your Citadel, which is targets 90 to 100.
Yeah, the 97 FM, so they're just going to be hunted all the heck. So
90 to 100, does that mean I can hit level 100 elites?
It's the FM 90 and 100s.
I don't know of a 100 target in the FM.
That's because tier 5's not out yet.
Well, that's also because they haven't gone that high yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They only go to 97.
They could go higher. They could make something even harder.
What sort of point payout are you going to be looking at for 100? They're already up in the 97, past 33 million.
$100 million. That's how much.
I would be more concerned about the damage what that target would give.
The 97s aren't too bad as it is.
Well, for your Punishers maybe, but with Citadels it's almost impossible. I can get only one corner and that's it.
I've seen guys with Citadels and a Punisher do them for under 1 coin damage.
I do them with Citadels and a Punisher for about 2 coins a hit. I just go out and do 6 or 7 of them and then just leave my fleet repairing overnight.
It's just about the driving. You can do them with Citadels and a tank. You just have to drive them right.
You have to be fast. You can actually make Citadels fast enough to outrun it, the
arc missile.
That's it. Yeah, you can make your Punisher tank and Citadels have a combat speed fast enough to outrun the fire of the arc missile anyway. So
what
you
is
can
that?
basically mortar blitz.
The arc missile is the thing that flies over the top of your tank and kills your Citadels when you first start in. There's one at the top and there's one at the bottom. The other way around that is to come in at a different angle so it's not firing and use a pinch on it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have been doing that.
What was the combat speed?
The combat speed, I don't know. I mean, my Punisher already has that combat speed. Is enough to outrun it. So, and my Citadels slightly trail behind it. So, I know that so I don't attack using that outrunning method with the way I attack, but I know if I'm, and I've already thought of doing this, it's just I haven't had my shipyard free to be able to do the refit yet. Is if I make my citadels faster and bring their speed in line with the Punisher, they will outrun that. I think it was 28, 29 maybe, and that will outrun the arc missile. So then they'll become irrelevant anyway.
You know, or you just spread your tank out really, really far ahead, and then you move forward in stages, right? As you're moving forward and it fires, you stop so it's going to land in between your tank and your citadels, and then you move again, right?
Yeah,
until you come into range.
And do you know what? Do you know what's not unviable to do? Is build 25 small pinches, you know, and each 97 you take, come in on the left side, small pinch, run in and kill it. Retreat, coming on the right side, small pinch and kill it. I mean, we're only talking 2 small pinches. That's 15 minutes a pinch to build.
And it only takes 5 of these things to get you points, so you're looking at 10 small pinches.
10 small pinches.
You can do it twice with 20 small pinches.
And you can be building pinches in between anyway. So
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, small pinches is a very, very viable way of doing this.
Oh, I love mine, mate. Especially for the dubs as well.
Yeah, same. I use mine in the dubs too. So yeah, I don't find the 97s an issue. The first week they came out, I never even tried them, and then I watched someone in them, and I was like, hang on a minute, that's not as bad as I thought. You know, I thought they were going to be a lot worse, and they're actually all right, the 97s. I don't think they're bad at all.
Has anyone tried to use citadels with pandemonium mortars that have actually more armor than the tank? So the arc missile supposedly should shoot at the tank all the time rather than shooting at the citadels at the back.
What you mean that the arc missile always aims for the lowest health? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, no, the arc missile doesn't. It doesn't target on your ship like a regular missile was. It fires at when your ship comes into range. It fires at that spot, and then it MIRVs, right? And so if your tank comes into range before your citadels do, it's going to fire. Your tank's going to continue moving out of the field of fire, and it's going to land right on top of your citadels, right?
Yeah, they don't target. Yeah, they don't target the lowest to health. They target whichever ship's closest to them. So
it's just a matter of bad driving on my part.
Possibly. I'm not going to slate you without seeing it. No, but no, maybe not. I mean, I don't know, but I can make a video if you want. I mean, I'm sure Monster and Gadget have already made some, but
I haven't made one with citadels because I haven't got a citadel fleet.
I can make a video if you want of citadels hitting a 97, how I do it anyway, and share it with you.
Well, I only tried it once. I went in like maybe from the bottom, and I just went straight for it like I do it in the 87. And I've seen that arc missile shooting. I'm like, okay, who cares? My tank can handle that. But it was just going at the citadels and everything died.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that's because you would have ran in and it's a splash damage weapon. It falls like a mortar. It won't target your ship as it keeps moving. It will target the area in which the ship was when it fired.
So it's like a mortar.
Yeah, just like a mortar, and unfortunately the arc missile is. Yeah, so I'll make a video and I'll send it to you, and hopefully that will give you some ideas of maybe a way you can approach attacking them.
Yeah, I don't tend to hit 97s, and if I do, I just use my old dub pun fleet load.
Mm-hmm. Puns do very well in them, very well.
I just tend to stick a Skull Dug crew on and munch 87s. Like.
You know what puns do really well in them? I was watching, and I'll give a shout out to the guy, Taxman, PPP1. He's in my sector at the moment, and we were doing the Forsaken mission, and we were comparing pun sizes, right? And his puns are Pandemonium mortars, and they actually auto the 97s for less damage than I take driving with my puns. So, you know, he goes once through the entire thing on auto, and it costs him 10 hours repair on a Pandemonium Punisher build. So that's pretty awesome, man. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. I might see a refit here soon.
Yeah,
Don't
well,
make a change, mate.
I've got four naked puns built that I was gonna put Arbalest on, and I'm actually thinking about putting some Pandemoniums on them now.
Yeah, I'm thinking about. I mean, I actually never built a pure Punisher fleet. That's one thing I never built because I kind of missed that era. Like, well, I didn't miss it. It's just I started coining again like mad after the Punisher had come out, and I just never got to build it. I started building the Dub Punisher fleet, but then Centurions come out, and I just went straight to them in the end. So I ended up with I've probably got about 7 or 8 Punishers. I've just got none in an actual fleet together. They're all like tanks and decoys and stuff in other fleets. But I think I'm gonna actually just go and build a fleet. I've got 2 that I can use, and maybe I'll just build 2 more new and actually get a fleet of Punishers together, because I think, especially for the Forsaken missions, they're actually the best fleet on the market. I mean, don't get me wrong, Citadels do the job great, but I think Punishers just do it greater.
I use my Punishers for everything, mate. My one Dub fleet, I use it for dubs. I use it for DMBs. When I do the mining bases, I just go 1 ship at a time. I take the fleet in and I stop the fleet, and I just take 1 ship at a time around them until one dies, and then I move on to the next. And I can fill up my base parts on 1 fleet if I hit 90s, right?
I'll do that with my Centurion.
I use them for Forsaken mission. I basically just about anything PvE I use my Punishers for.
Well, see, I've coined it. All these niche fleets that we've had, like over the last 4 or 5 months, we've had a fleet released that does this specifically, a fleet that does this specifically. Well, I've stayed in line with that, and I've coined all of them. I only just finished my Apollos like last week or a couple of days ago, and so I've kind of stayed in line. But I think, do you know what? If I'd have just built a Punisher fleet that can do everything, I would have saved myself probably a couple of thousand pounds. You know what I mean?
And it ain't like you didn't have me telling you that though, either, is it?
I'm stubborn, you know.
I've got his fleet built already.
See, that's because Trent's smart.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, that's a bit of a long push.
Hey, when I see videos and shit that he's posted on how he's doing it, I mean, I ain't gonna argue with it. Shit, I had to reach out to him. I had to reach out to him and Stu too about Apollo build, because I couldn't figure one out.
I've just done mine now, and I've tested it out today, and I'm quite content with it now. I've got 10 blades on each one and 2 Phalanx 4 on each one, and they're making a nice mess. So I'm quite content.
Yeah, you've gone wrong, guys. Switchblades are the way to go. You know. As it is, man.
Says the man with a broken fleet sitting in his.
No. I got 5 Apollos with 10 Switchblades each, and they are the business.
I can't afford 5 boats.
And I bet when the raid comes, I take way less damage hitting a mega hull with my fleet.
Do you know what? Let's try.
Let's have a bet on that. Let's have a bet.
We're not going to bet on
that. Let's have a £50 bet on that.
Gambling's not good.
Let's have a £50 bet on that, right? A £50 bet that my fleet takes less damage one hitting a mega hull than yours does in the raid.
We'll have a gentleman's handshake on that.
A side gentleman's bet.
Yeah, we'll have a gentleman's sniff on it.
Liam, just quickly, that Foundry PDF's uploaded now on our page.
Okay, perfect, guys, perfect. So I believe in the Apollos. I do. The Switchblades. I do. I built them, so I'm not changing it now.
The only time I build Switchblades on my ship is when I want corrosive defense. Every other time I use Harriers, because that's 10 hours per weapon slot that you save if you build Harriers.
Yeah, because Harriers are only like a 4-hour build.
Listen, when you have a limitless credit cards, no, I'm just kidding. No, look, I went for Switchblades because I wanted to try them out, and I'm quite stubborn. I don't like to change once I've made a decision, and that's just the way it is. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not so stubborn that it won't admit defeat or admit if I'm wrong. So if I do need to change them and refit them to 2 Phalanx 4s and 8 Harrier missiles, then I will do that.
Are you going to stream start your radio?
Blades actually work better, mate. I had Harriers on mine, and I refitted them to blades, and I can do more 91s with them with blades than I could with Harriers. And not just the buildings, but the ships die quicker in them with blades than they did with Harriers too.
And that's weird. Why would that be, considering Harriers against ships was always better than blades?
I don't know. I don't know why. All I can say is I tested both. So I'm not speaking. I'm not speaking theoretically. I'm speaking factually on my own experience. I tested both on exactly the same fleet with exactly the same number of ships on exactly the same target, and blades work better.
It's because the penetrative resist on the target is so low that the extra damage you get from the penetrative resistance bypass on the Harrier doesn't make up for the blade's outright higher damage. In addition,
I imagine it's very small factors. Like it's crunching numbers at great detail, but it'll probably be quite a small difference. But added up over all those salvos, it'll be the big.
Yeah, it's very noticeable, mate. I mean,
sorry, Brian, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
The amount of time.
Give me 10 minutes, and I will get you those numbers.
The amount of time it took to drop a ship was noticeably different. Like it wasn't like it just died a little bit.
Yeah.
It died a lot faster.
And the thing too is you have the percentage bonus to penetrative damage on your ships scales better when you have a higher base damage on your weapon, which the blade does have. So it's even better. The penetrative resistance of the target is going to have to be even higher. And against buildings, there is actually no contest.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying 50 switchblades, guys. 50 switchblades. The DPS on that is through the roof. Much higher than any other missile in the game.
Yeah, but they got to fire first, mate. And when you go running in against them Zoes, and them Zoes open up, or when you get in range of the mega hull and then missiles start firing at you, your countermeasures are triggering, and you're just going to sit there while you get pasted by heavy cruisers.
But 50 of them.
It doesn't matter, mate. Your countermeasures are going to be triggered, which is going to stop the primary weapon from firing.
But here's the thing, right?
If you have them all stacked, it would probably trigger them all.
But hear me out, because I have a theory. I have a theory and a plan, right? Right? Which so far has been true. So just hear me out, right? The bonus effect of the Apollo is that the fact that it increases in speed, correct? Now, when you get them all increasing in speed, they actually go faster than the Rhinos and the heavy cruisers in the targets. So the only way I get in range is if I allow myself to get in range. So what I'll do is go in, lure a ship out, jiggle around in a circle, let a Rhino come out so I can get that Rhino on its own. Then I'll dip into range, so I shoot at it. Now, yeah, it's going to get a volley off, but do you know what? Its volley, by the time its volley gets into my countermeasure range, I've already dropped 2 volleys off of my missiles, and 1 volley's enough to kill it. So I'm betting.
But then you got the Phalanx 4, which just shuts them down, mate. And you fire as well.
Well, correct pilot. What I'm saying is correct piloting for me. Nothing really touches me, and I was testing this out in. Now I know that they're going to be different to the raid, but I was testing this out in these assault targets, these 95s and 85s, and I was doing them for free repairs.
No. Go hit a 91.
Okay, I will. I'll go and find a 91 and I'll test it out.
Go hit a mega hull. That's going to be a much more valid test at a raid, because it's not going to be as much damage in them, but it's exactly the same format, right?
If you're going to do A-sets, or the mega hull, that's the thing to go for. Definitely the 91.
Yeah, these are also at 0 rank at the moment, and I was doing that. So, I understand. I definitely completely understand, but I do feel that there is weight in the switchblades, but it just involves me having to drive them differently, if you know what I mean.
Well, I still find them a pain in the ass the way they drive anyway.
There is value. There is value in the switchblades. It is really hard to get off, and I haven't, I'm building an Apollo tank. I haven't built any for actual damage. I have switchblades on that tank, but I expect them to not fire. Mm-hmm. But I will do numbers on missiles for you as we go.
I mean, there's no way that 5 Apollos armored full of switchblades is going to take less damage than my 2 unarmored Apollos with blades on them in the same target. I mean, just for a start, every time a turret fires at you, you're taking damage on 5 ships compared to my 2, right? Like I just don't think it's going to work out for you, man. And I feel bad for you because you spent on them, but I don't think it's going to work out.
Don't feel bad, man, because I'll just spend more, right? So don't feel too bad. But no, I reckon I'll be all right. All right, I do. I genuinely believe in the Switchblades. I know that there's an issue with the whole dual, trying to do two things at once, but that only forces me to drive them differently. Whereas before, I would just drive in all guns blazing, shooting off at everyone. That sounded terrible. This time, I will have to drive a little bit more subtly and dip in and out of ranges, kill this, then dip in, kill the next thing, as opposed to being able to just go along in a line and kill everything. That's what I'm saying.
Well, there's a guy in chat saying he hit a 91 for about 45 minutes damage with his Apollo Switchblades.
Okay.
I'd like to see a video of that.
Well, the guy in chat, my man.
Guy in chat, video, or it never happened.
Who is it? Belinus ICSE?
Yeah.
I want to see a video too, Belinus.
He's got videos up. He's done some videos.
Teach me how to drive them. No.
He's got 14 videos on his channel. So. Yeah.
See, I told you it could happen. Belinus, send me the video first. Gadget, about that bet. No, I do. I feel that they'll work. So, and I don't know. I know sometimes I go against what other people advise me, or what everyone else in the community is saying. Sometimes I go against them and I get it horribly wrong, and I feel quite bad about it afterwards. And I say to myself, why didn't I listen? But this time, I think that you guys are going to be saying that to me. Okay?
No, I'm not, mate. I built one with them on, mate, and I saw what they were like, and I refitted them.
That was before the Apollo was buffed, though, which made a huge difference because they changed the stats on it so you could run a new special as opposed to GSM. So.
But then I've built mine with GSM because of the buff it gives you, mate, with the thingamabob, the accuracy. That's the one, mate.
Yeah, but I know, but they give the whole an inherent accuracy buff as well, so you could potentially not need it.
You got those stats yet, Brian?
No, working on it. I'm trying to hear you guys and watch chat and do it in Excel.
I'm locked the screen on. This is Brian going stat crazy.
I thought Brian was going to pass out.
If I don't respond and you hear me muttering, that's me trying to figure it out because I haven't muted like an idiot. And yes, but we're almost done.
I'm going to get you, stats.
People lie. People lie. Numbers don't.
Stats are going to get it so good.
So is there anybody else that's got something to chat about?
Yeah, rather than Liam.
Yeah, we are. So guys, tonight...
It's the Liam 99 show.
It's BP time with me, your host, Liam 99. I was trialing that as a catchphrase, but it didn't work in this stream. So yeah, I mean, has anyone else got anything to talk about? Because I feel like we have just kind of gone a bit crazy in the last 20 minutes.
Do you know, there's one thing I wanted to talk about, right? Is I did a post on the page about it, and I've seen a lot of people, especially in forums, going on about Deadeye Executioners and saying, my Deadeye Executioners don't do nothing to Revengers. That guy is a hacker because his Deadeye Executioners absolutely murder them, right? And I've seen it everywhere. And what I wanted to explain to people is the reason that is because you don't have enough fire supports affecting your turret, right? You can have all your stuff at R15. If you don't have enough fire supports affecting it, it ain't gonna do anything. Right, my Deadeyes in my base are between 65 and 80% damage buff coming from fire supports. That's why they hurt Revengers. If you've only got one fire support on your OP and you're thinking that's going to buff your weapons enough, it isn't. You need at least 50% coming from fire supports for it to be effective against Revengers. That's where the problem is. It's not that people are hacking, it's that they know something that you don't, and now you know it too.
Yes, Gadget is, as always, a wealth of knowledge, and there was something else I wanted to ask you, Gadget.
Cynicism.
No, has anyone else thought of these questions for Gadget throughout the show?
Found it.
You all thought he was joking, but
This is we're going to test run a new segment tonight. So I'm going to turn it over to YouTube chat. If you could ask Gadget anything, what would it be? And then just say in the chat, and we'll ask him live on air.
I found to perfectly distract. I found the number. If all you have is the 50% damage buff on the Apollo, in practice this probably won't happen because you'll have a strike warheads or an interception system. But just taking the Apollo's bonus of 50%, at about 63% penetrative resistance, the Harriers will start to overtake the blades in damage because they'll cut the resistance so much. And resistance is 64% and higher, therefore will benefit the Harriers. So I imagine that the penetrative resistance on the Zoe's Rhinos and the Legion Heavy Cruisers is lower, also to encourage players to hit with the missile-based fleets that we're being quote-unquote told to hit them with.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, my whole screen's locked up for the YouTube and the Hangout, so we'll just keep going. But I don't know if.
Yeah, sounds fine.
yeah, you sound fine. There you go.
Sounds
I just saw your face there as well.
It's completely frozen.
I've been.
It's black when you talk, but on the bottom I can still see your face. It's just not moving.
Okay. Well, I'll just wait this out then.
Got Bell's palsy.
Did anyone ask any Gadget questions in the YouTube chat? If they did, ask them, guys, because I can't see them.
All it says in the YouTube chat is Liam, shut up, listen to Gadget.
Who said that?
I'm not saying who said it, but there were quite a few people.
Right, let's boot them. Let's boot them all. Let's close down the YouTube chat, guys.
There's one about radioactive defense. Does it matter? Does it matter, right?
For FM,
What?
not in any targets I've hit. I don't run any radioactive defense in the FM at all.
No, that's DMBs. I had a quick concern that I had actually about the new FM once it all changes over on the 22nd about the prizes that they'll be giving in Tier 5 because they mentioned that they were going to be putting core tech in there or really good tech. Because they're making such high-level spawn these targets, such a small percentage will even be able to spawn them, and they'll all be sought over by so many different people. Like, I'm level 81 in game, and I can do 97s just fine. If they put the 97 to 70 million, like is implied, then I would be able to hit Tier 5 just fine. The first prize, the ATR transformer, it looks pretty good for kind of what they're trying to do. It's pretty niche. It's not super powerful. I think we don't know the numbers, of course, but it's not necessary. But where they might paint themselves into a corner is if they make the prizes too weak, then nobody will bother to get Tier 5, or a lot fewer will. And if they make the prizes too powerful, then that would also create a lot of backlash with so few targets, so people aren't able to get prizes. I'm off. What? I'm off. What does that mean?
We're okay, mate. It's the Liam's had to drop out, so I'm just making sure the picture's switching between personnel.
Okay. So that it's just a concern that I had.
One thing I am seeing a lot of, though, is people are still relying on the old 85 FMs to get stuff done.
Yeah, I've encouraged people to stop using those now.
I was just about to say that, mate. People have got. This is the time now to get your fleets ready and get used to hitting the new stuff, because the old stuff will go, and if you don't, then there'll be a big.
Sorry, guys.
Kick off and stuff.
Guys. So something just happened there. I don't know. I think it ended. The broadcast froze there, but it should be actually. We're streaming again, live again now. So
yeah, it was fine. It was going.
It was going.
Yeah.
On Lucy's screen, YouTube froze as well. I actually got locked out there, and she said it still froze. So.
Oh, YouTube's fine.
YouTube's fine, Andrew.
Yes.
Maybe it's just an internet issue in our place then. Okay, guys. Sorry about that. Then continue. Sorry. Carry on. Yeah, no, I got booted out and stuff there. So, sorry, were you guys? Did I interrupt you?
Yeah, Liam. What we were basically saying is we're still seeing a lot of people actually still using the 85 and the old targets, the 55s and the 85s and that sort of stuff to do their FM, which is grand. But it'd be much better if they were to at least try and hit one of the newer targets to see where they are, and then even if they have to die overnight and then go back to them the next day thinking, right, when the FM's finished, I need to do X, Y, and Z. Because a lot of people just aren't touching the new targets, and then literally they've got one more week, and that's it. As soon as the rate tips up, they're gone. You won't see them again.
Yeah, and this whole time,
I'm still hitting the 85s, but I can also hit the new targets. It's just that I don't have my fleet finished building.
Yeah, but you've been trying them, Andrew. You've been trying all the different targets. Do you know what I mean?
So I'm just using the old 85s to catch up on the tech. So I need that FMC, I think it's called.
Frontline countermeasure.
So I need that for my Apollos and Rhinos.
But what they're saying is that this is the point where you should really be taking the fleets you have and trying the new targets, right? And hitting them and seeing what happens, seeing what's in them, trying to refit, do a little refit, and then hitting them again the following week. These last couple of weeks, that's been your opportunity to do that.
Well, my Centurions can take the 67, no problem. But you only get about 1 million points from that.
I mean, my point was to suggest that when people are, if you're going to tier 4, and that's as far as you're going, up to the 50 million point, once you get up into the 40s, you've been relying on those 85s, then stop. And if you've got enough time to sort of maybe have an overnight fix, and then switch fire and go on to the newer ones, so you've virtually completed your FM and that sort of stuff for that cycle, and then have a go at it. Just have a little trial and see what you think you might need to do. And if it doesn't work, then let it fix overnight and go back to hitting the 85s, and then maybe don't do the second run, but actually adjust that fleet instead. Mm-hmm. It's maybe sort of a small time pain for now, and you might miss it. You might actually miss a target this time round, but otherwise next month you're really going to struggle.
Well, I think for anyone that turns around next month and starts swearing at Kickstarter and says I can't do Forsaken missions anymore, I don't really have much time for that kind of comment, I don't think, really, because you've had so much time to practice and figure this out. Kickstarter have never done that before. They've never given you 3 or 4 weeks to adjust to a new target before they switched off the old target. So that in itself is a precedent. So for anyone to turn around next week and say, we can't do this and have a go at Kickstarter for that would.
It's a full 6 weeks now. This has happened.
Mm-hmm. If anybody can do this next raid, they can do the new targets.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if people are wondering whether to build for the raid or I guess refit for the raid or the FM, I think they should go for the FM more than the raid. The FM has so much more tech in there that's going to really help you progress. So if you have a question, it should be the FM if you're not hitting where you want.
Mm. But the targets are almost mirror in effect. The low level targets in the FM and the low level targets in the raid are going to be very, very similar.
Well, you mean the last raid cycle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So last raid cycle is going to be this raid cycle. They've taken board of everything that we set on the last skill and reduced some of the damage for the new targets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I clocked that as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's going to be interesting to see. I kind of hope that we don't see that next week. I hope we don't see explosions in the forums and people just going mental. I would find that really quite disappointing, really, if that was the case. But.
Well, I'll tell you now, and I'm sure Gadget will back me up. If I see explosions in the forum, I'll just delete the posts because that's absolutely pointless. We've been saying it and saying it and saying it. Now, if someone's got a critical point and say, actually, I've noticed now that this works or that doesn't work, or I thought this would work, can somebody help me? That will stay. If someone just has a rant, I'll just delete it. That's not what our page is about.
I built Citadels after the first raid of that raid cycle, and they've worked for every raid of that raid cycle and for all the Forsaken missions. I mean, that's the same fleet, so 5 months now. I don't get why people. All right, I get that people might not be able to win the Citadel, but surely people doing Forsaken missions would have done the last raid cycle. Surely, unless they're absolutely brand new to this game, in which case the Forsaken missions are relevant anyway.
Well, the Rhinos still do 87s, mate, as well. So
yeah, they do. I can still do the 87s with rhinos.
And now you can retro the hell out of them, using the Foundry. So flipping heck.
Mm.
Mate, I could do 97s with rhinos.
yeah,
They're not hard, right? It's just about your tactics. That's all it is. It's your tactics and the way you're approaching it. If you approach it correctly and you use the right tactics, they're not that difficult.
very true.
I mean, the core things. There's two fleets that are really working for the mid-levers. One is the Punisher, and the next one is the Rhino, and that is it. And to be honest, if you've got those two hulls, you're absolutely laughing.
You should have them two hulls since the 3 million points they give you for free.
Yeah, and in the last raid, and they dropped 3 million points on everyone. That was was it the last raid or the raid before?
Last raid.
Last raid, they dropped
3 million
3
points.
million points on everyone, which was enough to get the Rhino.
Repair tokens, grease monkeys.
So it gave you enough for the Rhino and that Trident missile.
And my alliance.
Armor.
The two raids ago, I made sure that I got every single person in my alliance the Punisher hull, and every one of them, and I say 45 to 50% of my lot don't coin a single coin, and they're all just finishing their 4th hull now, so they're ready.
Well, yeah, I mean, for the Forsaken missions, I kind of feel if anyone is going to find them quite difficult and say they can't do them, then really I just don't know what they're. I don't know. I just don't know. I wouldn't know what advice to give them. If someone turns around to me and says I can't do the Forsaken missions anymore, I wouldn't know what to say to them, because it would mean that they're not listening to the forums, they're not listening to the player base, they're not looking in the pages, they're not even playing the game. To have 6 weeks to practice something and then to try and say they can't do it would be quite bad, I think.
Well, I'm pretty sure as well. I mean, most of us have posted videos on our page of doing these targets, like. Or if not, then we'll make a video and put the ship build up as well, so peeps can see, like.
Yeah, of course, and definitely do exactly what Monster said there. If anyone that does need to know something or ask for a video, we can do that. In fact, someone's asking Gadget right now in YouTube if he can do a video of Rhinos doing a 97, and I think Gadget said he's going to put one up tomorrow. So there you go. So is there anything else, guys?
Just to look forward. So obviously this raid is the 3rd of the cycle, which means we should be getting a whole raid now after that one.
That's the second.
Sorry, second. The third one should be a whole. Is it a whole next, or is it the one after that again? I can't remember which one it is.
So initially the 4th. So there should be one more raid and then the whole store.
Yeah, isn't it due in July?
I thought it was July, wasn't it?
I think it's due in July, a whole store raid, but I'm not 100% sure of that.
Yeah, I've been out for a month, so I'm a bit behind on what cycle we're on. But it's normally July, isn't it?
Everyone in chat saying it's in August.
All right, okay. Summer holidays, hey.
Okay, sounds good. Well, we've already had one whole store this year, haven't we? We had one at the end of the year.
So whoever it was asking for, the new FM target. So
I thought they were every 4 months myself.
I thought so too.
But I could be wrong. I mean, when they first started, we had one at Christmas, and then we had one middle of the year, then we had one another Christmas, and then they seemed to start increasing them a little bit. So I guess we'll see on that. In fact, we could even ask. I could even try and find out and get some information on that, and see if we can make a post about it. I'll do that. I'll see if I can get some information on it.
But of late, they've been doing like a raid for a new hull, and then the next raid you get a new hull plus the old hull as well. So I don't know if they need to do a Pacific raid just for hulls, because they've been doing it that way. Like.
Well, I think what you mean is in the last raid cycle when they did the Citadel, the following raid they put in the Citadel again.
Yeah.
I think, but part of the reason I think they did that at the time, and I don't know if they'll still do that, is because they felt that raid cycle was quite hard and a big adjustment for players.
The last one was.
Yeah, well, I agree. No, I agree. But so their opinion on that was that the raid was difficult, and a lot of people didn't bother going for the Citadel, so they wanted to offer it again. So maybe we will see that. Maybe people. I wouldn't surprise me. I did say that last month. I wouldn't surprise me if we see the Apollo in this raid anyway. So, so I'd expect to see the Apollo again.
They have interesting prices now because they're doing the whole 2 prizes per tier pick one or the other. I mean, they could well offer the Apollo and the new hull, whose name I've already forgotten. But no, not the Apollo, the newest one, the one coming out.
Oh, the new one.
The newest ones.
The Vendetta.
Thank you. Yes.
Mm-hmm. The Vendetta, the super cool mortar rocket combination, crazy guy that also boosts revenges. You mean that one?
Makes things explode. Things will explode somewhere.
And you know what you should do, Liam? You should get it and put switchblades on it.
I'm going to put some switchblades on that. No, because I'll get it and I'll put the new weapon on it, and you'll get it and you'll go, I'm putting shockwave mortars on it or something like that. You know, and I'll be like, yeah, cool. You know, you'll put your fucking Hellstorm Maelstrom 5 and shockwaves on it, and I'll be putting the new mortar on it, and we'll just, you know, that'll just be the way it is.
He'll put lockdown rockets on it and just out.
Yeah. As I always do, I'll build mine really shit, and then I'll just steal yours.
He'll just say, you know what, Kickstarter, I don't like combination weapons.
I'll steal your build, and I'll tell everyone that it's mine.
That sounds like something you would do. Okay, so guys, do we have any more subjects to cover?
They lowered the build times of assault hulls, the MCX and the Kodiak and the whatever the other one is, sort of in line to keep them all below the Rhino. I don't feel it's low enough. I hate being that guy, but I'm glad they did it.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Yeah, my Kodiak fleet is like a 125-day build, or it used to be. So I wonder what it'd be now. This is a fleet that's obsolete as well. But,
I don't know if you guys wanted to touch on that global hunt now.
Well, we can. I mean, that's next week, isn't it? Next weekend.
7th.
10th.
10th.
10th to 13th of June.
Yeah, we got another show between now and then, so.
Yeah, I was just thinking we have run over a little bit, so I don't know if we can
pick it up on Tuesday.
Yeah, definitely.
There's 2 global hunts.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, guys, I appreciate everyone that's come out tonight, and I appreciate you bearing with me through those technical issues, and I appreciate everyone that's come in to watch the show and be on the show. So thank you, everyone, for your support of the TFC. We had a good discussion there on the fragments, and Andrew put together some fantastic slides to try and help you all out. So
Foundry is currently getting updated on the website.
Yeah, so if you head to the website, it will be added into there soon, and I believe someone's already posted the pictures up on the page as well. So they're there.
Up, yeah.
Yeah, and be sure to get involved in that post where I ask for opinions on the understanding of the Foundry, because I'm looking to hear as much feedback as I can on that, because I can pass that over to someone that wants to see it. So that would be absolutely great if you could get involved in that. And have a good weekend. Happy pirating.
Take care, all.
Take care, everyone, and happy sailing.
Alright, see you later.